Before we get into today's video, I gotta know, has there ever been a period where you thought you customized every keyboard imaginable? Like, you thought you've seen everything? We've seen keyboards with knobs, macro buttons, LED screens, but is that enough?
That's the best you can do!
So the other day, a company by the name of Kwumsy emailed me, asked if I wanted to go ahead and take a look at their latest keyboard, and me, being a fan of customized keyboards, I've built a couple of my own, I thought, sure, I'm open, let's see what you got. And I was definitely not imagining what I received.
Mother of God.
This is the Kwumsy K3, and I got a lot of questions. First things first, what is this? Like, for real, what is this? I mean, what is the name Kwumsy? So what you're looking at today is the Kwumsy K3 mechanical keyboard, and has a built-in monitor and a USB hub. It's like all these devices had a very M-rated scene. Giggity, 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 giggity. And it sounds crazy, but honestly, like, this reminds me of like 1990s laptops, or like, what are those things we used to use in high school when we typed essays? Ooh, Alpha Smarts. Yes. It's 100% giving me all that vibe. If I aged you, like I just aged myself with that, leave a comment below. Let me know what you used. If you had that. If you had that in school, leave a comment. This is meant to be like a one-stop shop, like a hub for like a gamer or like a multitasker or like a creator, a keyboard enthusiast. Like, I'm confused, right? Like, you're confused with me.
I'm confused. Me too.
So let's think about it this way. I take a customizable keyboard and mash it up with a portable monitor and then throw like a USB hub in there. Since this is essentially a 3-in-1 device, I want to go ahead and tackle the K3 in that order. The monitor, the keyboard, and then the hub. Now, all of this is packaged in one laptop-sized device. It's compatible with both Mac and PC, and it's very gaming inspired. Let's go ahead and break it down. Let's start with the monitor. So the monitor is an IPS 1920 by 720 screen, and it's touchscreen. So essentially it's like a full like HD monitor, like a 1080p monitor cut in half, like literally cut in half. So you get only 720p. It is adjustable up to 90 degrees, so you can have it fully flat, or you can have a custom up to like 45 or 90, whatever works better for you. And the screen itself has 300 nits of brightness. So don't think you're gonna be like a laptop and take this outside. Viewing angle, it's pretty actually decent at any viewing angle from what I could see. You might not be able to tell with the reflections from like the lights and stuff, but you really do see through the screen. So let's talk about the keyboard. It's an 82 mechanical key keyboard, so about like a 70% layout. And I was actually surprised to find that it had Gateron yellow linear switches. Now, one of the things, it is a customizable keyboard, and it seems to be gasket mounted. I haven't taken mine apart yet, to be honest, because I was kind of afraid. But I was surprised to find the linear switches, but the one thing that really kind of threw me off is south-facing LEDs. So one of the things I didn't mention about the keyboard, based on the testings of the keyboard, this seems like it is factory lubed. It feels nice, and it's not too, I mean, it's actually, it has a nice feel. It's very quiet, and the factory lubing is pretty decent, but you could re-lube it if you wanted to. Another thing is with the keycaps by stock, they are some double shot keycaps. Now it's very cheap, and it's not like a drop or any kind of like higher end keycap, but it still gets the job done. And then, like I said, the LEDs, it has a lot of different LED pre-configured settings. You can actually configure that through the keyboard itself. You cannot hook it up via our QMK, which is kind of a bummer, but I'm expecting a lot for this multi-powered device. Let's talk about the hub for a second. You get two USB 3.0 5 gigabit ports, as well as a Type-C for device hosting, as well as one for power delivery. You do get a multifunctional dial, which controls like brightness and all the on-screen settings. You do get an SD and TF card slot, which, if you're going to use it, you're going to use it. One of the things about the hub, so with the power delivery, it's really, they make it so it's to be used with laptops, but I really don't see myself using it with a laptop per se. Whereas I would use it more at like my desk when I'm trying to stream or multitask for work. So, I mean, to each their own, I guess it's nice. It's like a 65 watt total power delivery, but it's kind of to however you want to use it, right? One of the weird things I didn't talk about the hub, you get a built-in SSD enclosure. Now, I don't know if this is going to really work for everybody or how many people are really going to use it, but if you want an onboard storage, you could use that here. Now, if you're like me and I edit, I don't expect Thunderbolt speeds, right? So just be cautious about real expectations. Like, it might be like an overdrive versus a regular drive, like a primary editing drive. Now, I primarily work from home, and so one of the biggest things with working from home is being able to use 2 screens or more. Now, this is my workstation as well as my gaming station, and a lot of times I'm using those 2 monitors to their fullest extent. Now, the cool thing about having the K3, it really opened up the opportunity to have a 3rd screen that I didn't think I would really use at first, but I found myself throwing Zooms on there. I threw my Slack or my team chat on there. I was able to monitor as far as different like phone calls and stuff that were coming in while working on my regular stuff. And then ultimately for streaming and gaming, one of the biggest things that I actually came up for with that was, well, one, it was a 3rd screen that I could either use as a digital display to monitor my entire PC and everything that's running, or I could throw up Discord and use it kind of like I would work. But one of my favorite things to do, I actually used it to monitor my stream. So I could throw in my docs from OBS, or I could throw in some of the docs straight from Twitch itself, and I could monitor everything in that 3rd screen. So let's go ahead and talk about how it compares to other devices. Now, if I were to really try to compare this with another device, I mean, the ability to have an all-in-one makes a lot of sense. You don't really get that in a lot of different builds, and that's the kind of the pro about it. You get a lot of built-in features. You get the keyboard itself, which feels pretty nice to what I'm used to. Keyboard itself was pretty nice as far as customizing the feel, the sound. It wasn't really thocky, if you will. And I guess that's kind of a pro and a con, like you're working with like other people in the office who don't really want loud clickety clacks. As far as the hub worked. I didn't really use it that much, to be honest, in my like actual setup. I mean, I used it more for like hooking up my wireless mouse and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice. Cons, one of the things that I would really criticize is just the port layout on the back for the cable that it comes with, right? For your USB-C connection. It actually has an angled USB-C on one side. And the problem with it is if you put it into your device, you kind of have to figure out how to, like, depending on like your laptop or PC, how you hook it into the back. But if you put it on the actual device itself, like on the keyboard, it kind of blocks other ports, so it loses its purpose. I wish it did have, as far as like the desk space, I don't know why, I feel like it just takes up a lot of retail space on my desk.
But there's no space, so...
And I think that's probably the one thing that's been keeping it off my desk, because it's great. I use it when I'm really like work intense, like in work intensive mode, but like 90% of the time when I'm like pretty, keeping up with everything, I don't really need that third screen to be like, hey, live on my desk permanently. So if you're interested in this keyboard, normally it retails about like $5.99 on Kwumsy's website. However, you can actually go on their Amazon and actually have a link in the bio down below. You can usually get it for about $3.69 on sale, and that's through Amazon. Now, if you click on that link, it is an affiliate link, so you will help out this channel, so just be aware of that.
I need money.
Okay, so final thoughts. Would I buy this? It's expensive. And for me, I don't need the 3-in-1, so I probably would not have purchased it myself. But for a keyboard enthusiast who's really into building it and likes the idea of having 3 screens, it's actually a pretty decent budget. Like, take into consideration, you buy a keyboard alone could range from a good keyboard from like $100 to like $200, and then a portable monitor costs about $100. So price-wise, it's pretty equivalent to what you would expect. Now, I do, like I said, I like the fact that you can really customize the board itself. However, like my personal opinion, I don't like the south-facing LEDs. I like shine-through keycaps, so that was kind of a turn-off for me. But as far as the screen had really like impressive color. So being it is touchscreen, I really didn't use the touchscreen often, to be quite honest. The few times that I did, because I use Mac, I had to actually move the mouse onto the screen before it would take effect. And it was always like a kind of a point and click option. It wasn't just like a point and move the mouse cursor. So like it was seldom that I did use it, but it was capable. Now with Windows, you would get more of that actual touchscreen features because it is built in, but I'm not a primary Windows kind of guy, so that's really where my take is.
And what's wrong with that?
I mean, if you're a keyboard enthusiast and you've seen Kwumsy before and you've seen like their K2 options and other lineups, it's definitely, I think, a great idea. I personally it's not my daily driver. Like, I typically run a completely different setup, as you can see in the back. But for somebody who is looking for like that all-in-one device, or maybe they don't have room for a second monitor, I actually think it's a really good option, to be quite honest, because it's all packaged and you could like just fit it right under like a desk thing, right? Actually, that'd be a good setup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for Kwumsy for sending the keyboard out. If you are, like I said, if you are interested in it, I will leave a link below. It is an affiliate link. It does help me out. It helps boost the channel and actually helps me buy other things for the channel, so I appreciate it. As always, I'm Joe. This is Matsu Excel. If you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to stick around, I got another cool video you can probably take a look at right here. Like, look at this one. That one's pretty cool. I think you'll like it. Go, click it. Do it now. Do it now.